It was a random Thursday night in my dorm room, and I was like, tomorrow I will start a company.
What are your tips for hackathons in specific?
Oh yeah, I have a lot of tips for hackathons. I turn off everything and I stare at a wall for 30 minutes.
What are
Mm.
you building right now? I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, so
So I'm so excited to say I'm welcoming Jia Chen to the podcast. I have a couple of things written down about you, but I obviously can't go on about like all your accomplishments right now because that would probably take like the whole time. But she's currently the founder at Sorcerer, which we'll talk about later, and then previously founder at Sprint.dev. Also, you've won like a bunch of major hackathons, 23 hackathons, most recently the Y Combinator overnight hackathon. And also, like, I saw your website portfolio thing and it was also really cool. I just wanted to mention that. Maybe I can put like a screenshot here. I guess my first question for you is where did this all start? Like, what was kind of your starting point for getting into developing?
so actually I entered, or I guess to go back, um, ever since I was a kid, I loved just building things. So when I was 12, I was like building Minecraft mob farms, like building mechanical hands with cardboard and birds. And I wanted to be an inventor. So there's always that creative spark. Eventually, when I was 16, I became an indie musician, just
Mhm.
making music on Spotify, also following that kind of creativity. Um, but eventually, in freshman year in college, I always thought like coding was a more analytical thing, but it turns out you can use creativity to solve problems. Um, so there's this Python class that I was forced to take, and back then I would say forced, but now I'd say get to. But
Mhm.
yeah, I was so determined to get the top grade that I went to the 9 a.m. lecture, the 10 a.m. lecture, the 11 a.m. lecture, and
Oh
like,
shoot.
yeah, this was before GPT, so I was like actually cooked. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so like learning was super slow, but I showed up to like three lectures in addition, um, and eventually all that stuff got hammered into my head. So I tutored the whole class,
Mhm.
and got the top grade, and then I switched to computer
Oh,
engineering.
oh, cool. So what were you originally?
Finance.
Oh, okay. So that wasn't your original track in the beginning. Okay, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. No, I was a slow learner.
Yeah. So then what took you like from there to all the way to like winning all these hackathons and like going to Y Combinator and stuff?
Yeah, so basically I became completely obsessed. And by obsessed, I mean like every single day I would be in the makerspace for like 6, 7 hours a day, just like coding and learning. In early, I think 2022. Um, and I would pretty much like ditch my classes, like learn how to use React. And like eventually someone like tipped me off saying there's like this like national competition from the Department of Defense. So I just like submitted a random Raspberry Pi entry, won it, and then I went to my hackathon. Then I started getting into hackathons. So a fun story about that is that I secretly rented a car, using my older friend's license, like begged Ohio Hackathon sponsors for a travel stipend. Then I used
Oh,
that
shit.
$200 travel stipend to rent a car,
Mhm.
um, and then drove to Ohio secretly without telling my parents. Um, and that's where I like won my first hackathon. Um, and I won like money that was I was able to use to travel to the next hackathon, and I just became obsessed from there. So like every single weekend, it was kind of like an escape um, from Michigan. Like I was able to go
Mhm.
to a new campus. I was able to work with new people on a project, and like I just became obsessed with building. So
Wow,
I
that's
just found
so
from there.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, so I guess my next question is, what is Sorcerer about? I know this is kind of like a big jump from all your previous experience, but what are you
Mhm.
building right now? I'm kind of curious.
Yeah. So it's content management for teams. So for example, all these coding agents overgenerate functions and components. Um, and also they generate when you're trying to make edits to like complex functionality in the code base, like they generate incorrectly because they lack the right context from your teammates and like understanding the code base that your team just interacted with. Um, so the way it works is it's one MCP server that can be added onto any IDE. So
Mhm.
VS Code, Cloud Code, Cursor. And then that's where you can manage context, and context comes to you at the right time. So this is able to solve merge conflicts and help you develop more complex functionality and a more clean code base.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Sorcerer is a pretty fitting name for that. That's
Mhm.
interesting. Your first founder experience, I would say it's pretty successful. You generated a lot of revenue and you were backed and stuff. How did
Mhm.
you get started on that?
It was a random Thursday night in my dorm room, and I was like, tomorrow I will start a company.
Yeah.
Um, and so I have this tendency that I need to keep my word to myself at all points in time. Like if I say something, I must do it. And
Oh
so
my
I
God.
at 9 p.m. I was like, let's build this. And so at 9 a.m. I posted it everywhere online. It blew up to 100K views. Um, like the first version of Sprint.dev. Um, and after all that traction, um, I started generating revenue. And once I started generating revenue, that was when I went to Silicon Valley and I went to a random hot pot event. At that hot pot event, like everyone saw, or all these investors saw that I was like hustling to get all the food because like I was in Silicon Valley barely started making any kind of money with my project. Um, and they're like, "Who is this?" And I just like told them my background. I was like, hackathons, whatever. And so they're like, "Oh my gosh, let's like, can we angel invest?" And so someone overheard that like they're angel investing, so they're like, "Okay, shoot, can I angel invest too?"
Whoa. So they
So I
asked
walked.
you.
Yeah, they asked me. I didn't even mention investing at all.
Oh my
Um,
God.
and so then I walked out of that hot pot with $8,000. Um, and,
Oh
and
my God.
then after that, I went to Twitter. And so on Twitter, I was like, oh, I landed my angel investment. It blew up to 100K views, actually a million views, or 500K views on Twitter, and then
Mhm.
500K views on Instagram for like the hot pot video. And then eventually all the angels heard about this, and then the DMs just blew up. And then and then the VCs heard about it too.
Oh
And I
my
guess that
God.
round was just over.
Whoa. Okay, so you like really leveraged virality plus, well, you already had like previous success, so that's like actually kind of insane. Yeah. I mean, like for people who are first-time founders, do you have any advice for them or tips?
Get the product out as quickly as possible. Make sure that your development time is not over a month. It should be 2 weeks, and then you launch a product. Whatever product it
Oh.
is, there's definitely AI tools out there that can help like get the basic just stripe just slap a stripe link on it. Just like make sure people pay.
Yeah.
Like just get it out there. Like even if it's like one button, just like have them click the button and have them pay. Um like anyone who takes over 2 weeks or 1 month to develop, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Wow.
it should just
Okay.
be 2 weeks or 1 month, and then like with that kind of high velocity and like people seeing how much you're willing to go for or something, like usually all the serendipity and opportunities start coming to you.
Yeah. I mean, when you were founding like your first company, did you like have the exit goal in mind or were you planning on sticking with it for like a while?
I was planning on with it for a while.
Yeah.
Um, like if it was not going to be Sprint.dev, I was going to pivot it to something like that was more for AI event hosting.
Hmm.
And that would have been more scalable. Uh, but yeah, I think was not like the right fit for a team, which was not an issue. Like my ex co-founder and I are really chill, and we're actually calling this Wednesday. Um, but yeah, it's sort of like just a typical like first time founder story. Like not the right team, maybe not the right idea, kind of fumbling around. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was definitely very successful for a first-time founder. I guess going back to Sorcerer, what do you kind of see in the future of Sorcerer and like where it's going? I know you mentioned some of its capabilities right now, but where do you want to take it?
Yeah. So as like everyone, all the software teams are still humans, but agents are eventually going to be the people the whole like whole software teams.
Hmm.
Um, And there's still going to be like human interaction, like building companies. But there has to be a context management layer for every IDE, every coding agent, every developer team for the next billion unicorns.
Hmm.
The next billion unicorns will operate on this infrastructure.
So when you were first starting out, did you know that you were going into like the entrepreneurship route? I know you're in hackathons and stuff, but I guess that could lead to a lot of paths. So how do you know entrepreneurship was for you?
I mean, I was like fumbling around random entrepreneurship stuff, like a jewelry business in high school, like a cookie business when I was like 5.
Oh.
Uh, um, I just glad it seemed fun. I mean, I had written a letter when I was like 19 saying that I would start a startup. I guess it happened. But
Hmm.
otherwise, like, I mean, I thought it would be much later. I thought I would like go to big tech and like stay there for 4 years, and then when I was like 26 or something, start a company. But we're
Hmm.
here now, so whatever.
Yeah, the plan changed. I mean, it sounds like you were an early entrepreneur, so it kind of makes sense. From the age of 5. I guess I hear a lot of stories, especially since I'm in the Bay Area, of people like coding since they were 5 or like literally like knowing C++ plus plus from like fifth grade. But like, I think it's so cool how you literally started like as a finance major, like you learned how to code like in college and you got up to higher than what most CS majors can get to. Yeah, I mean, what are your tips for hackathons in specific?
Oh yeah, I have a lot of tips for hackathons. So the number one tip of all time is make sure
Yeah.
you record a demo video. Um,
Hmm.
so like there's always like secret judges, whether it's in person or online, um, where like they send like whatever you have around. And so if they're either going to send a block of text or they're going to send a video of your application working. So definitely record a demo video, and also like before, if in case your app breaks, you also still have something to show. Though, like the main tip for actual judging is like show a live product working that the judges can interact with, and just like ignore slides. Like slides are useless.
Hmm.
So just like show them the product in their face, let them like click the buttons and interact with it, um, and see the functionality for themselves. Um, there's like, oh my gosh, like I have an entire document, but I will, okay, I'll just go to the top five tips.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, this is just the top five. So one is brainstorming. Like this is like one thing I do is I turn off everything and I stare at a wall for 30 minutes. I set a timer for
Oh,
30 minutes
wow.
and I stare at a
Okay.
wall. And the reason for this is like not using AI to generate ideas. Initially you can like use AI to refine your ideas, but um I do this in order to connect with the ideas I think about. So the more
Hmm.
that I like connect based on my own observations, the more like those ideas can stem off to other ideas that would
Oh,
like
okay.
give it more clarity, and also like I'm more connected when I pitch it at the end. Um,
Mm. Yeah, so it's truly like your idea.
like truly like your idea, and it makes like your the flow as to developing it much easier, and like when you visualize it, the demo.
Hmm.
Something that's helpful is like before you start any kind of type of technical development, you visualize the entire demo, like the 1 minute demo video that you will take. And that's able to help you prioritize which features are actually important.
Hmm.
Um, so you have like the three top features that you prioritize, um, and make sure that you integrate front end and back end before anything. There's like the other way around is that people integrate front end, or the people take front end and back end, and like there's two people that work on front end, two people work on back end. You just like integrate them at the end, but like that's not the right way to do it. I think
Hmm.
you have to integrate them first, like see if the port is running, see if like front end sending to back end, back end sending to front end, um, and then like iterate from there, make the front end better, make the back end better. I mean,
Hmm.
these days things might have changed more because of like AI tools, but back then, yeah.
Yeah.
I think with AI tools, like since they integrate the front end and back end together in the beginning in the first place, I don't think you even need that tip. But yeah. Um
Actually. So when you
um
started, were you like, did you have access to AI in hackathons? Or when you first started, no?
the first few, no.
Whoa, that's
Mhm.
insane. I mean, like when you were first learning it, what were kind of the barriers that you noticed, especially women in CS, very like underrepresented? Do you have like any kind of barriers in that kind of way?
Oh, yeah, I think like it was like at hackathons themselves, you could like sort of tell when people were like pushing you into a role, like sort of pushing you into front end or instead of
Mm,
doing back end. Um, and also just like the general like self-esteem that you have as like a girl. Um, I think that was something that I was like writing about. It was like a lot of engineering is willpower, and
hmm.
believing that you'll be able to solve the problem no matter what.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's powerful. I feel like I definitely feel that still now, even though it's like, it's seems like a problem that should be like in the past, I guess, but yeah, hopefully in the future it'll get better. But yeah, I
Mhm.
don't want to take up too much of your time. So I guess, do you have any last thoughts or like last messages, tips, anything for the audience?
Last like words I have for the audience are you're a lot more capable than you think already. Like this is so cliche, but
Hmm.
you deserve your success. Like whatever you visualize, you are the right person to obtain that. So,
Mhm.
you get that.
Yeah. I mean, thank you so much.